welcome to my channel. I'm excited to show you week 3 of Whole30 and all the things that I purchased and meals that I made. And so to start out, I'll show you what I got from Lidl, which is a grocery store that originated in Germany and has just now made it to the Atlanta area, and they have really good deals and is a competitor to my other favorite store, Aldi. So let's get into what I got. Quite a bit for only $33. I got red potatoes for some of the dinner meals and some breakfast foods. I got a whole chicken to roast for my salads. I got ground beef for dinners, canned carrots and tomato paste for dinner stuff as well, fresh tomatoes to add into salads. I got cucumbers for the salads, zucchini for the spaghetti. Then I got some bananas for snacks and several different greens. The spinach is for breakfast, then romaine and this hydroponic lettuce are for my salads for lunches. I got frozen peas because they were cheaper than canned, and pepperoncini peppers and olives for salads. The bacon is for breakfast. And then eggs were super cheap. They were 18 for 70 cents. So I'm making my spinach and egg frittatas with bacon in them, and I started out with 6 eggs. I'm gonna bake them in this pie dish. It's like a 8-inch pie dish, and it's not probably going to fit very many eggs, so that's why I'm doing 6 eggs. Also, if this is going to be like 3 breakfasts, that's 2 eggs per day, so I think that's what I'm gonna plan on. So I'm just gonna whisk them first and add a little bit of water. I pulled aside like maybe a 1/4 cup of water to add to help thin them out a little bit. I'm gonna add about maybe a teaspoon of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, maybe 1/2 teaspoon of basil, some pepper, and that's gonna be my egg mixture. I sauteed up, well first I cooked some bacon, and in the bacon fat I sauteed up some of the, like 1/2 an onion and like 2 garlic cloves. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix those into my egg mixture. And I also chopped up a tomato that was left over from last week. I'm gonna add that as well. So it'll be spinach, tomato, and bacon. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of the egg mixture on the bottom of the pan. So that it like coats the bottom a little bit. And then I'm gonna put a layer of spinach. To make my breakfast hash brown casserole, I first prepped the veggies and got out all of my spices and hot sauce to add to the mixture. And I cracked 5 eggs, whisking them, then added some salt, a generous amount of salt, and a generous amount of pepper, then a generous amount of paprika, and lots of garlic powder, of course. Then I added a good amount of hot sauce, because I like spicy things, and even more hot sauce. Gave it a good mix, and then added in the spinach and some of the potatoes so that it could kind of incorporate with the eggs. Next, into the greased baking dish, I put all the potatoes and onions and patted them down into the bottom so they were spread out. Added the egg and spinach mixture over top and then spread it to fill in all the gaps. Then added some bacon so that it could get nice and crispy on the top. Boiled it and baked it. To make shepherd's pie, I started by prepping the vegetables: onion, carrot, celery, kale. I added some salt to 1 pound of ground beef. I was cooking in my Dutch oven. Then added rosemary, thyme, some black pepper, some parsley flakes, and allowed that to brown. Then added in some onion and carrot, celery, and let that saute with the meat. Gave it a good stir. Added some garlic after a little bit. And then when that had sauteed, I added kale, peas, the canned carrots, and let that cook. I had prepared some mashed potatoes to add to the top using the red potato. I spread that around onto the top and then placed this directly in the oven at 400 for 30 minutes. To make spaghetti and meatballs, I started by taking ground beef, 1 whole package, about a pound, and adding onion and 4 eggs. Then I added some garlic, some almond flour, maybe about half a cup of almond flour, some Italian seasoning, some red pepper flakes because I like the spice, some salt, probably about a good tablespoon or 2 of salt, some basil, and then mixed it up and began to form my meatballs. I made them about 2 tablespoons of meat each. Then I placed them in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes. And while that was cooking, I went ahead and made the sauce. So I prepped the vegetables and filled a big saute pan with olive oil. Then added about 1 whole onion, sauteed that until it was softened, added some garlic. Then added some chopped spinach I had left over, a couple of olives chopped, and some tomato, about 1 whole tomato. After that had cooked for a minute, I added a can of tomato paste and some water so that I could stir it and make it into a sauce. I let that cook for a little while, adding some seasoning, Italian seasoning, kosher salt, and then some fresh basil that I had out in the garden. Next, it was necessary to prep the zucchini noodles. I have a special tool for this, and to get them to leak most of their water, you can add salt ahead of time, and then that draws out the water. So when you're ready to cook them, they'll be pretty wet, so you have to squeeze them out really good. And then once they are squeezed out, they can be placed in the pan to cook until bright green.